Beside a tranquil blue lake, a weary young man slowly sits up. He feels a throbbing headache. After waking up from a night's sleep, he can't understand why he is here. Yesterday, it was clear. He went shopping at the mall with Ms. Trong, buying jewelry that she likes. Then he went to sleep and ended up here. Looking around, Tran quietly thinks, is this God punishing me for my sin of clinging to wealthy women? But that isn't a big crime. In this age of materialism, while he's lost in thought, he hears a rustling sound coming from behind. He turns around and sees a bizarre group of people eating, shouting at him. Tran feels a little surprised, thinking that he's fallen into some prank. He speaks up, "Hey, you guys over there, how do I leave this place?" But, in response, Tran only hears meaningless sounds. Before he can ask more, a sharp spear is thrown towards him, like it's throwing a wild beast. The feeling of the spear grazing his face, this pain, has triggered fear in Tran's heart. A second later, Tran sees himself screaming and running. Don't play so seriously. It's just a reality show. Give me a way out. Behind, the primitive group continues to chase. After a while, a sense of satisfaction appears on his face. Ha ha ha, each step takes me farther. Tomorrow, I'll practice running faster. Ordinary people will never catch up with me. Not to mention that they still carry a bunch of weapons. Speaking of which, Tran's mind suddenly pauses and murmurs, not a bunch of weapons. Just as he's thinking, a cold spear grazes his waist. Though just a scratch, the feeling of pain and fear is immense. Before he has time to think if this is a game or not, in front of him, a notification board appeared, activating the main mission of survival. Tran Lap was running, and wondering about this main mission. Then, the system immediately provided an explanation. The objective of the mission is to survive for 12 hours, under the pursuit of primitive humans. The reward for the mission is 1 attribute point, and 1 survival package. Seeing these status lines, he determined that he had traveled to another era. Before he could think further, a large spear swiftly approached him. This time, he was completely defeated. Then, he fell into a coma, not knowing how long had passed. Tran Lap woke up with a throbbing headache. In a daze, he saw strange girls begging for food, playing around a campfire. He felt happy, and thought he was participating in a dating event. Unexpectedly, Tran Lap obtained this kind of blessing. He couldn't miss this opportunity. The scent of delicious grilled meat filled the air, making Tran Lap's hunger unbearable. Saliva flooded his mouth. Tran Lap found this scent very enticing. It must be a whole roasted lamb. On this earth, not only beautiful girls, but also delicious food. What more could he ask for? He immediately rushed towards it to feast. But unintentionally, he fell to the ground in pain. Only then did he realize that he was tied up, and didn't understand what was happening. Then, the system appeared again, with the same content as before, reminding him to carry out the survival mission. For 12 hours, under the pursuit of primitive humans. The countdown time was 1 minute and 20 seconds. Only then did he realize what was happening to him. It wasn't a dream. Still in shock, a group of muscular men, holding large pieces of bone, slowly approached him with greedy eyes. Terrified, Tran Lap cursed silently. Sao is a group of weird and busy men. Where are the girls? Later, Tran Lap was seen tied up again. In front of Tran Lap, the system interface appeared. Congratulations on your survival. Under the pursuit of primitive humans. Survive the main mission within 12 hours. You receive a survival package. Survive at an attribute point location. Please choose a distribution direction for attribute points. Primitive humans are still around the bonfire. Tran Lap slowly learns about the system. See what the mission reward is. The system continues to appear. Transcendent Tran Lap. Physical strength +1, power +1, agility +1, fame none. Science and technology none. Territory none. Tran Lap thinks those 3 plus signs might increase. This looks a bit like a game system. Did I pass through some game world? Sao, right? But when I'm thinking, the system appears again, asking if I want to open the survival package. In this situation, Tran Lap immediately chooses to open. The system resonates again. Congratulations, you have received primary language proficiency. A versatile map. It will record all the locations you have been to. You can mark locations freely. Do you want to take the Kai-Sun Ryu? Warm reminder. All items taken can't be stored in the storage space. Survival in the wild is being recorded. The healing platform is being recorded. At the same time, countless survival knowledge has been integrated into Tran Lap's brain. Automatically, after a while, Tran Lap begins to understand the language of these primitive people. They are still singing and dancing around the bonfire. I am the strongest. I am the bravest. I can defeat the biggest beast. Oh my God, oh my land. You are amazing. I want to have a child with you. From what I gathered in the conversation, Tran Lap evaluated. Based on what they said, it seems that this place is a very primitive world. The Nguyen dynasty has not yet been established. Everything is in its early stages of development. The purpose of this game might be to survive in this world, and establish a civilization. It seems like a strategic survival game, with a very high degree of freedom. So, why didn't we start from scratch? Tran Lap gave the order to distribute attribute points for strength. He took a pickaxe to mine rocks outside the system. Immediately, he gained attribute points and a pickaxe. The pickaxe appeared in Tran Lap's hand. Tran Lap gave it a try. And the rope was completely cut. He exclaimed, "I didn't expect just 1 point of strength to give me such great power." Tran Lap's actions attracted the attention of the burly primitive men. At this moment, Tran Lap held the hot pickaxe with confidence. He approached the primitive men. The men were slightly startled by his presence. They shouted, "Stop him! Don't let him escape! Kill him directly, then eat him!" In front of Tran Lap, the primitive man threatened, "You can't escape, little boy." Tran Lap chuckled. Then, he swung the pickaxe and attacked the men. He started fighting with the men. "Foolish idiots, how dare you disrespect the divine being?" Hearing this, the primitive man asked in confusion, "What do you mean by divine being? Your words are incomprehensible to us." Tran Lap silently evaluated the man. The man speaking seemed to be very influential among the primitive men. Perhaps he was their leader. Thinking this, Tran Lap ventured forward. "I am the master," he said. "I have been sent by the heavens to rule over you. Today, you have insulted me." He wants to punish you. His prey wants to fight back. The primitive man becomes angry. He immediately jumps up and swings a bone club at Tran Lap. Tran Lap doesn't react. Then the system continuously appears, activating the main stop mission. The mission is to threaten the primitive man, at the same time, to subdue them and become the leader. The mission reward is 1 attribute point. Blood-stopping medicine. For the penalty of failure, Tran Lap loses the Kai Sun Axe. Listening so far, Tran Lap's eyes showed a hint of excitement. In this era, losing the Kai Sun Axe means death, so he can't lose. While he was thinking, he swung his axe to block the attack of the primitive leader. After the collision, the strength of the primitive leader is transmitted, causing the ground to instantly shatter. Tran Lap was also surprised by the power of this primitive man. The two of them confronted each other, seemingly without a clear winner. But with the hot metal in his hand, the primitive man's bone started to crack. Then, under the impact of the two, Tran Lap's axe broke the bone piece. In this era, the bone is the most important. The larger the bone, the higher the status. Tran Lap's action is like officially provoking the primitive leader. The tribal people looked at the broken large bone in awe. At this moment, Tran Lap felt like he had made a mistake. His instinct tells him that something bad is about to happen. At this moment, the primitive leader shouted, "My weapon, how dare you destroy it? Everyone attack him, tear him into pieces." Hear the leader's command. All the tribal people attacked Tran Lap. Even though Tran Lap had the most advanced hot metal in his hand, he was still in the primitive era. However, one party cannot be diligent in translation. Tran Lap can only run and shout at the same time. "You guys play dirty. Didn't you agree to solo one Sao? How many people bullying a 24-year-old kid? Is that okay? Not okay at all." Tran Lap continues to yell and run. Behind the primitive people constantly chase. At this moment, there is a very large and agile primitive. He caught up with Tran Lap and swung a wooden stick towards him. But just as the stick reached, Tran Lap used an axe to chop it into 2 pieces. Facing Tran Lap's powerful weapon, the primitive immediately became scared and fell on the ground. At this time, Tran Lap confidently looks at the primitive people. "You guys keep getting angrier. Don't overstep the boundaries. If I am forced, I will retaliate 5-fold. All of you quickly retreat." Tran Lap yelled. His scream caused the primitive people to look at him with fear in their eyes, and gradually step back. Although he felt somewhat pleased, he was also worried. If surrounded by these brutal beings with terrifying power, attacking him, he will definitely be killed here. He had to think of a way to intimidate this group of people. While he was thinking, the primitive people screamed in fear, "Run, run quickly." Then, in the bewilderment of Tran Lap, he thought to himself that this group suddenly ran away like that. Because of his intimidation, he didn't expect to be so powerful. At this time, Tran Lap didn't pay attention to the appearance of a pair of cold eyes behind him. The mission continued to appear. To activate the secondary mission, chasing the toothed tiger. The objective of the mission is to help the primitive people chase away the toothed tiger. The reward of the mission is 2 bonus attribute points, and the goodwill of the primitive people. The mission has begun. Automatic acceptance, cannot refuse. After reading up to here, Tranlap cursed and waited for the opening. And what is the secondary task of the tiger tooth sword? Why is everything so chaotic and confused? Right now, Tranlap suddenly realized that something was behind him. He turned around and saw a big tiger tooth sword, with sharp claws reaching towards him. In an instant, Tranlap ran and shouted in fear, "There really is a tiger tooth sword here. The tiger sword is continuously pursuing him." He didn't know how long it had been. Tranlap was incredibly tired, dodging the tiger tooth sword's attacks. He wondered why. After just time traveling, everyone, including animals, wanted to eat him. But if he continued running like this, he would lose his life and fail his secondary task. What kind of monster is this? How can I catch up to it? Just one bite, and I would be half dead. At this moment, the tiger tooth sword, using its own strength, quickly chased after Tranlap. Then, it swiped at his back, causing Tranlap to fall to the ground in pain. At this moment, Tranlap had no other choice. A few more times, and he would truly lose his life. His luck was really bad. He couldn't escape anymore. Risking his life was the only option. Stay calm, think with your mind. What can resist this tiger tooth sword? After a moment of thought, Tranlap had an idea. The tiger tooth sword is a wild beast, and wild beasts are afraid of fire. He remembered the campfire from earlier. He had to seize this opportunity. With this in mind, Tranlap rushed towards the tiger. "Come here, you wicked cat. I'll risk my life with you." Seeing that Tranlap stopped running and came towards it, the tiger tooth sword became even more fierce, approaching Tranlap to bite and devour him. At this moment, Tranlap slid on the ground, gliding past the tiger, but not as smoothly as in movies. The tiger tooth sword pounced again. Tranlap jumped on Tran's abdomen with both feet. Afterwards, he ran away in pain. Obscene words came out of his mouth. "Damn it, I will never trust those things in movies again." Behind him was still a familiar scene. The tiger's fangs continued to chase him. While running, Tranlap was also thinking. All animals in the cat family have a similar trait. They play with their prey before eating it. The trees in front could help him buy some time. He just needs to reach the fire pit and he will win. A moment later, under the continuous pursuit, and the second attack from the tiger's Zhong sword, Tranlap also ran back to the flaming pit. In a blink of an eye, Tranlap endured the pain and threw a flaming stick towards the tiger, causing its eyes to burn. Then it howled in pain and retreated. Afterwards, Tranlap continued to use the fire to continuously throw at the tiger its fangs. Seeing it in pain and fear, Tranlap silently exclaimed, "Success! The fire can harm it." Getting a slight advantage, Tranlap started to act. "Come here. The big cat is chasing after you." Dao, very happily, right? Just when he was pleased, Tranlap felt the ground shake. In the distance, there were loud noises coming from a boat. Tranlap looked towards that direction, worried. This noise, this loud noise. Could it be that there is a bigger monster coming towards us? Coming from the forest. The sound is getting louder by the day. It seems like it is rushing towards us. Tranlap looked at the tiger's Zhong sword. The tiger's Zhong sword also looked at him with an incomprehensible look, as if it was saying to him, "Go, run away. If you can run, then hurry up." Looking at the tiger's Zhong sword running away, Tranlap was a bit surprised, then shouted and stopped. "Don't run. If you run, then what will I do? I can't face it alone." The system's mission reappeared. "You have accepted the secondary task of chasing the tiger's Zhong sword. The sword of Hoonjang has been discarded. Congratulations. You have completed the mission of chasing the sword of Hoonjang. You have achieved 2 new attribute points and the favor of the primitive humans. Please choose the distribution direction of the attribute points. Do not think too much." Tranlap detects sound getting closer. He decides that the most important thing now is to escape, so he decides to add 2 points to strength and agility attributes. The system quickly implements this. In a blink of an eye, Tranlap feels his strength and speed increasing rapidly. Before long, he is able to run quite far. At this moment, Tranlap suddenly discovers something. He immediately stops. Then he notices a group of primitive humans hiding in a corner. Tranlap calls out to them. The primitive humans see that Tranlap is still alive. They are scared. "Why didn't you get eaten by the sword of Hoonjang?" But this opportunity, Tranlap continues bluffing. He raises the axe in his hand high. "A sword of Hoonjang, in our eyes, is just a big cat. A few quick moves and it ran away from me." With this newfound strength, along with these words, these primitive humans will surely admire me and continuously bow down in fear. But after a while, the atmosphere remains silent. Tranlap wonders what is happening. Why aren't these people scared? Don't they understand what I'm saying? At this point, a girl approaches Tranlap. With a puzzled expression, this surprises Tran Lap. He asks her what she is doing. A second later, she kneels down and clings to his feet. Thank you, benefactor. You have saved all of us. You have saved all of us. Please accept our gratitude. No matter what, please stay and become our leader. This way, we will no longer be afraid of the sword of Hoongjang. Tran Lap contemplates once again. Is this the primitive's gratitude? For completing the mission, I suppose. I never expected such gratitude. Tran Lap gestures for everyone to stand. If you are so enthusiastic, I cannot disregard your kindness. The primitive people are overjoyed upon hearing this. Not only will you live together, but we also agree to make you our leader. You are so powerful. Oh my, I'm so touched, I could cry. Tran Lap feels extremely delighted. This feeling is like becoming an emperor. Tran Lap swings his hammer and cheers for everyone. From now on, I am your king. The system interface pops up. You have successfully integrated with the anonymous tribe. Mission accomplished. Stop moving. You received 3 vials of blood replenishing medicine and 1 attribute point. Please choose the distribution of the attribute point quickly. Very fast. Tran Lap decides to add the attribute point to strength. He feels that any increased attribute will bring a significant improvement in physical fitness. Let's see the results later. Complete missions to increase new attributes. To survive in this world, becoming stronger is necessary. Tran Lap also opens the system warehouse to observe the blood replenishing medicine. This medicine is a combination of various herbs that stops bleeding. It heals the skin and is effective for 1 day. Tran Lap is surprised that the medicine has an expiration date. He decides to only take a portion of it outside. If he doesn't use it, it will lose its effect within a day. He decides to take a small amount to heal the wound on his back. Let's see how effective this medicine is. With that thought, he applies the medicine to his back. In a blink of an eye, the wound completely heals, leaving only a scar. Tran Lap is amazed by the medicine's effectiveness. It's truly good. At a critical moment, we can rely on this blood replenishing medicine to save our lives. In the blink of an eye, Tran Lap's wound has healed completely. The primitive people were amazed. Tran Lap took some medicine and walked towards the crowd. Earlier, some of you were injured, right? Divide these things among the injured. Tran Lap's actions touched the primitive people. Our king is truly powerful. Thank you, Tran Lap. I am very pleased. There's no need to say anything. If I'm not strong enough to control all of you, I wouldn't have become your king. I need to know about you all before. Starting from you, from the one who introduced you, your name and your special skills. The leader's name. The prehistoric person proudly said his name is Thatch Kot. He was considered the leader before you arrived. He was the strongest before you came. Then another person spoke. His name is Akan. He's skilled in hunting. He's the Bone Club leader. He can roar loudly and chase away wild animals. I am Hoang Thaj. My strength is also strong. Now there's a younger sister. The blonde girl speaks up, catching everyone's attention. Now it's my turn. I am Sun Lin, also known as Dai Dai. I'm good at throwing stones. Looking at the beautiful girl, with a strong and robust physique, Tran Lap is amazed. This one is the big boss. Then another beautiful girl speaks up. This beautiful girl's name is Zhao Zhao. She knows how to climb trees and pick delicious fruits. Tran Lap almost bursts out laughing. Finally, he has found a normal person. While he was lost in thought, another girl approached him, making Tran Lap a bit surprised. This person introduced herself as a duck. She resembles her name. Her fiery figure and alluring appearance excite Tran Lap. Before he can fully enjoy it, the beautiful girl goes away. Speaking up, those 2 are my sons, but they haven't been named yet. Looking at the ugly children of the beautiful girl, Tran Lap almost bursts out laughing. Looks like they take after their father. Tran Lap silently compares. Dao Dao has a habit of liking other people's wives. In his life, he had 15 wives, most of whom were other people's wives. Currently, I'm not any different. Where is Dao Dao thinking about how to seduce women? Then someone speaks up. Your Majesty, I am a hunter, with no special skills, but my ears and eyes are very useful, so I am always sent to scout the way for everyone. At this time, Tran Lap starts to compile the information, and finally hears something different. This hunter is a perfect candidate for the detective position, and will surely be useful in the future. At this time, he introduces himself as Tran Lap, and from now on, you will call me King, or Master Tran, whichever you prefer. I am a man of culture, and I am here to impart knowledge and culture to all of you. When they hear this, the primitive people are extremely surprised. Actually, it's not that surprising, it's just that they don't understand. Tran Lap continues. In the future, I will teach you many things. To change your ways. To put it simply, just follow me, and I guarantee you meat to eat every day. When they hear about having meat to eat every day, Everyone immediately understands. Afterwards, they continuously cheer, wishing for prosperity forever. The system reactivates, checking and measuring the will of the host. Activating mission ahead of time. Settlement mission. Mission content. Support the primitive people in building houses. And officially establish a tribe, while increasing the number from 11 to 50. Mission duration is 15 days. Since the mission was activated ahead of time, 3 days are added to the predetermined time, so the total mission duration is 18 days. The mission reward is 3 bonus attribute points, and a treasure trove, large-sized materials, a heritage template, and, after receiving the mission, to increase the number of members in the tribe to 50 people. Tranlap glanced at everyone with an aesthetic eye, all the children included. There are currently only 15 people in the tribe. If you want to expand the tribe to 50 people within 18 days, then you can only join other tribes. Seems like the next 18 days won't be easy days. We have to use all of our strength to support this tribe. We hope for a large treasure reward, and the inheritance pattern won't disappoint us. As the night falls, the moon shines on the forest and the surrounding mountains. Tran Lap has his first night in the new world. He lies on the ground among the people, but he can't sleep. He feels uncomfortable due to hunger. How can he conquer this world with an empty stomach? He decides he needs to find something to eat. Looking at the sleeping tribe, he quietly thinks, these people are too simple-minded. They don't even leave anyone to guard while they sleep. Damn, my stomach is really hungry. How can I find food? After thinking for a while, he suddenly remembers the fire he built earlier. He remembers there might still be roasted meat. Maybe there's still something to eat. He has 2 lines of thought in his head, divided into angel and demon. The angel says, the monster that can chase away a tiger armed with a sword might still be wandering somewhere near it. It could still be lurking somewhere close. The demon disagrees. We can't wait here to starve to death. We have to seize the opportunity. After a moment of thinking, Tran Lap made a decision to bet on his own luck. At the moment, he only cares about his hungry stomach. He doesn't believe he will encounter that monster. Thinking this, Tran Lap picks up a bamboo kite. Under the moonlight shining, he slowly moves towards the extinguished campfire, carefully moving to avoid making any noise. After a while, he arrives at his destination. Hiding behind the grass, he discovers that the grilled meat is still there. He thinks to himself that if he's careful, there won't be any problems. Tran Lap walks towards the campfire. The food and prey are still there. He tells himself that he has now become a king. He can't just think about himself. Thinking this, he starts packing the food to bring back and share with everyone in the tribe. After arranging everything, Tran Lap quickly leaves. He returns to the tribe. While walking for a while, he notices something strange. The ground is full of broken branches. The terrain has changed since before. While thinking about this, he becomes less cautious and doesn't see the obstacle in front of him, so he falls into a large hole. This fall seems quite painful. In anger, why is there such a hole here? He suddenly realizes his shadow on the ground. It's cast by the moonlight from above. He wonders why there's an empty space like this in the middle of the forest. After calming down, he looks around and is shocked. He discovers that he's sitting in a giant footprint. There are many similar footprints around. He is stunned, wondering why there are such large footprints. These are the footprints of a dinosaur. No, how can there be such a giant ostrich? Damn it, I'm really stupid. Seeing a saber-toothed tiger, I should have immediately realized that this is not just a prehistoric era. There will be terrifying creatures besides humans that have never appeared in the modern era. We need to find a safe place as soon as possible and settle there. We can't waste a single minute. Tran Lap hurriedly runs back to the tribe. The sun is rising. A battle for food breaks out in the tribe. A forest full of loud screams emerges. This chicken head is mine. Give me the meat. Standing, looking at the chaotic scene, Tran Lap feels bored. Then he takes a deep breath and shouts. Everyone stops. The atmosphere immediately becomes silent. Everyone looks intently at him. The tribal people look at him in astonishment. He sighs. These people don't know how to share fire. They don't know the etiquette and rules of life. They still have a lot to learn. At this moment, Tran Lap gives an order. The available food will be given to the hunters today, beforehand. Then we will go hunting. Who will follow me? Stonebones speaks up to the king. We usually take turns to go hunting. Yesterday it was Akon Hoang Thatch and me. Today it is Warty Melon, Greenhorned Pig, and Wolfbone Hammer. But because the king is here today, they all want to go. I want to go too. Everyone looks at him with expectant eyes. They want to know how courageous their king is. At this moment, Tran Lap pays attention to the child named Hunter. He stands silently in a corner, showing no reaction. This kid must be afraid and resent me. Because I caught him yesterday. I have to find a way to make him happy. And not pay attention to the kid anymore. Tran Lap looks at everyone and says, "Alright, if you want to, you can come along. By chance, I want to find a place for everyone to build a new house." "What is a king's house?" Dai Dai hurriedly asks, facing the threatening presence of his strong physique. Tran Lap also happily says, "A house is a place where you live with your loved ones. It is like the roots of this tree deeply rooted in the soil, providing nourishment and safety for the members of the family." Hearing this, Dai Dai quickly says, "I understand." A second later, she hurriedly hugs Tran Lap and puts his head into her 2 milk bottles. "So, can I live with the king?" As she speaks, she hugs him tightly. Tran Lap struggles to escape and says, "Of course you can. From now on, we will be a family and, of course, we will live together." The girl understood these words in a different way. She happily shouted, "Ha ha ha. The king is ready to live with me. The king is willing to have a child with me." Recovering from the recent embrace, Tran Lap sighed. "How can you think of that?" Thatch Kot asked. "Where does the king want to build his new house?" "Everyone, come here and listen to me." Tran Lap sat on the ground and started drawing. "Look here. First, you need a large and flat piece of land. It's best to have flat land with mountains in the north and a river in the south. This not only provides convenient conditions for supplying drinking water, irrigation, firewood, and stone extraction, but also establishes a relatively closed and safe area. To reduce the risk of attack, it's best to have a forest on the other side of the river. Firstly, for hunting and gathering. Secondly, to find enough seeds and wood for farming and building houses. Finally, it would be better if it could be near the coast. The plain can provide fertile land and a favorable environment for learning maritime skills in the future." Thinking about where to find such a place, the hunter spoke up. "I know where the king mentioned is." Hearing this, Tran Lap's eyes brightened. He hurriedly ran to ask the hunter if he was telling the truth. "Take us there. If you can find it, you will be our tribe's hero." But the hunter said worriedly, "That place is not far east from here. But it's best if the king doesn't go there. There is a herd of cattle there that is not easy to provoke." Hearing this, Tran Lap's eyes brightened even more. He began to explain those cows. "We have nothing to fear. It would be even better if we had a herd of livestock. It can not only provide abundant meat, but also provide us with herding skills. Its milk is also very good. Today, this herd of cows is our prey. Everyone, arm yourselves, and let's go to our new home." Quickly, the hunter led the people to a place with mountains. There's a hidden forest in the bushes. The hunter assesses the normal environment. Normal scent. The current king is very quiet around. "Wait a moment and we can go out." Tran Lap praised and reassured the other side. "Don't worry, if we hesitate too much, it will get dark. Rest assured, the tiger's teeth have been frightened away by me. I will protect you all." Encouraged, the people were at ease to continue on. From here up to the mountain top, you can see where the cattle gather. Hearing the hunter's words, Tran Lap urged urgently, "No need to hesitate any longer." The hunter leads the way. Soon the group reached the mountaintop. The hunter worriedly said, "It's down there, everyone. Lower yourself like me and be careful." Tran Lap reassured, "You don't need to be as cautious. Are there any other monsters besides the cattle?" Just looking over the mountain, a vast landscape immediately caught Tran Lap's eye. A flat piece of land, surrounded by tall mountains, with a flowing river, and it seems he can taste the flavor of the sea. Observing the map, Tran Lap was delighted. 3 sides are mountains, 1 side is the sea. Our current location is the forest, with a river. This is a perfect place to build the first city. While looking at the map, Tran Lap was abruptly pulled back to the hiding place by the hunter. After steadying himself, he curiously asked what was happening. The hunter hurriedly said, "My lord, don't speak so loudly. Don't let those big black cows hear you." Tran Lap nodded in response. "All right, I will be careful." He looked forward, activated the survival guide's search skill. He glanced over the guidebook's search skill. The results of the scan of plants and animals too. Sunflower, the root of this type of tree, can be used as a stomach pain reliever. Western mangrove, a tree containing a mild poison that can paralyze humans. The naked tree bark is of high quality and can be used for hundreds of years. Gray squirrel is a mammal that eats various nuts and has delicious meat. Bumblebee is an insect similar to a bee. The sting of a worker bee contains neurotoxins and more than 5 other substances, which can cause death. Glancing around, there are no herds of cows. Tran Lap looked at the hunter with a bit of surprise and asked where the cows he mentioned were. The hunter looked into the distance and said, Right beyond that small forest, there's a large river. I can take you there for a closer look. Everyone, be cautious. The group starts moving in that direction. Half an hour later, the group has also arrived at the location the hunter pointed to. That's the place. If we get closer, we'll be detected. Tran Lap seems uneasy at this point. It's clearly very quiet. Why is he so scared? What could be scarier than a herd of cows? Tran Lap skillfully scans this area and discovers the presence of level 3 plants and small level 1 animals. Seeing this, Kai laughs. He turns back and tells the hunter, I'm also concerned that there might be a scarier monster. But I can't find any cows nearby. Did you forget, hunter? The hunter doesn't answer. Then Tran Lap sees something big approaching. The hunter, trembling in fear, points towards it. Tran Lap also starts to go silent out of fear. How can this be called a normal cow? The evaluation displays a black iron-horned mammal, mainly herbivorous and territorial. The tribal people behind them exclaim, this is the cow you were talking about. Sow is so big. It's amazing. You really want to hunt this sow. It's only right for Tran Lap to hide for cover. You guys keep dressing up here. I'll go alone to see the situation. Tran Lap steps forward and the crowd marvels. The handsome king. The powerful king. Tran Lap hides behind a tree and silently weeps. I have to do this sow. I can't lose face in front of these people. Tran Lap can only approach the herd to observe. For now, I can only rely on 2 quick points that I have combined. Its arm is bigger than me, better than me. I should find a small one to train my skills. These iron-horned cattle look scary. It's not good to disturb them while they're eating. This one is already the smallest. I'll try to approach it gently first, and then by force. If it behaves well, I won't have to risk my life. Stop. Tran Lap steps forward and says, hey little cow, are you enjoying your breakfast? Is it tasty? But in response to Tran Lap's friendly face, there is an angry roar from the cow. This scream attracts the attention of all the remaining cows. They all charge towards Tran Lap. Terrified, he screams, I just wanted to say hello. No need to mobilize everyone. And mobilize them all. This is a familiar scene again. Tran Lap runs and screams, don't come here. Don't chase anymore. Don't chase anymore. Tran Lap hastily swims across the river. The herd follows closely behind. Tran Lap looks back and says in fear, why do they have to chase so aggressively? Do we have a big grudge, sow? The tribal people in the distance are probably happy. That day truly deserved to be our king. That day, he dared to hunt a whole herd of cattle at once. Sow King runs towards that high stone wall. It's a dead end, you know. The king will surely surround them all in there. Tran quickly jumped onto Sow. In the vulgar mouth of a mother's heart. What a strange situation. At this moment, loud noises could be heard from below. The cows in front, because they couldn't control their speed, they collided with the wall and fainted. Tran was pleased in his heart. Ha ha. If you have the courage, then come forward. It is best if I can defeat all of you. The cows below have stopped now. They angrily looked at Tran. When they saw them stop, Tran also breathed a sigh of relief. It seems that the hardness of this stone wall cannot withstand their weight. They will not be able to climb up. Now, it seems that we are safe. But it seems that they refuse to leave. This matter must be resolved sooner or later. When I return today, I will pass on my hunting skills to the tribe, and take the opportunity to provide them with weapons. But how do we continue now? Those crazy cows are still waiting below. We can only continue climbing and take a detour to try and observe the entire scene here. After climbing the stone wall, a magnificent scene immediately appeared. Tran immediately made a decision. This is the place we will choose. We will establish our empire here. While Tran Lap is observing the situation in the new place he has just moved to, the tribal people are anxiously looking at the giant cows. Why did those black cows leave? Where is our king? Did they trample and kill him? Hearing this, Tran Lap immediately climbed up a tree. No, we have to find that powerful axe and bring it back to him. Climbing halfway up, Tran Lap's axe came flying in. It was close to his body, making him extremely frightened from afar. Tran Lap said, you have a lot of guts, Thatch Cot. You must really want me to sleep, right here. The tribal people saw Tran Lap return, and happily rushed over to celebrate. Only Thatch Cot worriedly said, which of our kings would dare to think like that? Are those black cows really scary? Tran Lap sneered, I was planning to eat the cow to gain strength. Do you want to try? Hearing this, the hunters quickly said, let it go, king. We can't defeat them. Thatch Cod also nodded and said, even if we win, we won't be able to eat them. Isn't that right, king? Tran Lap, angry at this point, said, you don't understand my intention. Answer me, do you want to or not? Faced with this terrifying situation, the tribal people all expressed their desire to hear the answer they wanted. Tran Lap confidently proclaimed, "Starting from today, I will teach you powerful hunting and advanced shooting skills. In 3 days we will come back here to punish these cows." The tribal people were very excited, celebrating and intertwining. They returned to the resting place of the tribe. Tran Lap immediately used the axe to chop a big tree down in one blow. The tribal people were amazed when they saw the sharp axe. Thatch Kot stepped forward curiously and asked, "King, we can't eat this big tree. There are no fruits on it either. Why did you chop it down?" Tran Lap looked at the tree and said, "This is the material to make weapons. Pay attention to how I do it. It will be useful in the future." Tran Lap starts crafting weapons. He takes a wooden stick about 2 meters long. Then he sharpens one end. At this point, the system appears. "Congratulations, you have successfully invented a new weapon technology. Technology points increased by 1. Current attributes: Strength 2, Agility 3, Stamina 2. Fame: non-existent. Technology points: 1. No territory." Looking at the system interface and the weapon in his hand, Tran Lap says, "This will earn points much easier than completing various tasks, but I still don't know the benefits of scientific and technological points." Tran Lap returns to the tribal people, and then performs a throwing posture. He throws the spear forward. This is called a spear. It can be used for stabbing or throwing. He also throws the spear forcefully, and embeds it deeply into a tree trunk, leaving behind large cracks on the tree. The tribal people see this and run back to see. "What kind of terrifying weapon is this, O king?" The tribal people argue with each other. "We used to just go picking herbs. Didn't expect we could do something like this. Our king, we want to try it out." Tran Lap sees that it's just a small invention, but it is being praised so much, so he says happily, "Everyone, calm down. Everyone will have a share. Thatch Kot will give you that spear." Thatch Kot hurriedly returned, and took out the spear to celebrate. Tran Lap looks at the others, and continues, "We will make more spears for all of you. Then we will begin special training." Hearing this, the tribal people were extremely happy. After a while, Tran Lap had completed all spears for the tribal people. He then began training them. From afar, the onlookers admired the spears. They're both big and long, very sturdy. At this point, Tran Lap stood before the tribal people, and ordered, "2 of you, charge together." 2 tribal people look at each other for a moment. Then they both charge towards Tran Lap. The 2 men confidently start to attack. Spears are quickly swung, but Tran Lap easily dodges them, then counterattacks and pushes the 2 men backward. In just a few basic moves, one of the men is knocked down by Tran Lap onto the ground. The other person takes the opportunity to attack him from behind, trying to be the one to finish off Tran Lap, but quickly gets a spear from Tran Lap at his throat, accompanied by the words, "You're dead." Tran Lap's movements make the surrounding tribal people incredibly scared and amazed. Looking at the bewildered tribal man, Tran Lap says, "If this is a real spear, you would be dead by now." The tribal man is now trembling and falls to the ground. "The king seems like a god. How can we possibly defeat him?" Tran Lap happily says, "You lack technique. When using a spear, you only rely on strength. The advantage of a wooden spear lies in its tip. You need to aim the tip at your enemy or prey. This technique requires a lot of practice. Long-range throwing seems suitable for you now. Do you see the sign on that rock? You stand here and throw wooden spears. Whoever hits the target first, I will give them a few more wooden spears." The tribal people rush and vie for it. "I'll go first." Then, Thatch Kot quickly throws the spear in that direction. The spear is powerful and forcefully rushes towards the rock, but it misses the target. Upon seeing this, Tran Lap speaks up. "Your arm strength is good, but you need to improve your accuracy." Next up is the hunter. But the hunter's spear falls right in front of Tran Lap's feet. Tran Lap looks at the hunter with some annoyance. Are you trying to prove that you're the best thrower?" The hunter scratches his head and admits his mistake. The next person quickly collects the next fossil. The tribal people take turns throwing. Tran Lap looks at the result and exclaims, "It seems like none of them have any talent. Looks like I was hasty earlier." Suddenly, a staff flies by Tran Lap. It strikes the center of the target. Everyone is shocked by this. Tran Lap looks back and asks Akan, "Did you just throw that?" Akan happily confirms that he did and that he won. Tran Lap praises him for doing well. "Keep up the good work. These 2 are yours right now." The Lord above is observing and shouts, "Oh no, something's not right. There's a wild beast coming from the forest." Tran Lap looks around at everyone and commands them to prepare their weapons for battle. The tribal people quickly grasp their spears. They face the forest, waiting for the approaching beast. Tran Lap silently thinks, "Let's make use of this hunting opportunity to gain more experience for them." So now, from within the forest, a large wild beast, with 2 large horns on its head bursts out. Everyone alerts each other to be careful. Tran Lap immediately gives the command for everyone to follow him. We will definitely capture this wild beast. The wild beast charges out from the forest. Tran Lap commands everyone to surround the wild beast and avoid its attacks. Then, Tran Lap takes the lead with his spear. He thrusts it straight into the beast's forehead, causing it intense pain. Tran Lap continues to give orders. The enemy's strength is weakening. This is a rare opportunity. Attack its vulnerable spot with your wooden spear. Both of them immediately follow his command. Action. The spears strike straight into the monster's body, making it scream in pain. The monster thrashes around. Tran's spear broke, launching Van An outside. The monster wheezes heavily, and everyone looks angry. Akko immediately shoots an arrow at the monster, injuring its eye, causing it to lose direction. Tran admires Akko's quick action and praises him for his talent. The monster struggles to escape, and Tran gives the order for his skeletal soldiers to attack together. Everyone follows the command and quickly strikes the monster. But the monster's fighting power matches its large body. It is terrifying. Despite being hit by many spears, the monster remains strong. It violently rushes in another direction but is blocked by Tran, who then swings his axe at it. The monster is attacked, but still not defeated. At this point, Tran gives the order for the hunters above to jump down. With a banned spear aimed at the monster's head, an explosion occurs. The tribe looks in that direction and says, "What happened to the monster, Your Majesty?" The smoke clears, and only Tran stands there heroically, on top of the monster's corpse. The system immediately warns that the monster has gone berserk. All the tribe members feel extremely fearful. The hunter on top of the monster screams in agony. The tribe members quickly retreat. Only Tran rushes towards the monster. He jumps up and strikes with his axe. Then there is an explosion. The tribe members look in that direction and say, "How about it, King?" The dust clears, and only Tran remains, standing on top of the monster's body. Tran breathes a sigh of relief, having defeated the monster. Everyone coordinated very well. Tonight, we can have a satisfying feast. The tribe members cheer happily. At this point, Tran Lap looks towards the hunter, who still holds the spear on the monster, and says to the hunter, "You did great this time, you deserve praise." The hunter is so happy that he wants to cry. Tran Lap looks towards Akong again, and says, "This time, you did the biggest contribution. From now on, you can follow me. Every hunt, I will create new weapons for you." Akong happily jumps up. Everyone around feels that Akong truly deserves it. The tribal people are eating and discussing now. If we talk about our king back then, he was like a god. He could directly chop off a pig's head with just one jump. Of course, the king could easily kill that crazy pig. It's so easy. The help of the Flintstone couldn't be missing. I'm talking about that. The Flintstone looks at Dai Dai. He is carrying a large piece of meat and says to Dai Dai, "Dai Dai, give me piece of that meat." Dai Dai holds the large piece of meat and says, "This piece is not for you. This is reserved for the king." She walks closer to Tran Lap. "King, eat something." She looks at everyone eating raw meat. Tran Lap asks, "Why do you all eat like that?" Faced with this question, Dai Dai is a bit confused. What's the problem with eating like this? Tran Lap reflects and says, "I remember you all know how to use fire, so why eat raw meat?" Dai Dai casually says, "It tastes better raw, because last time we couldn't keep the fire for cooking." At this moment, Tran Lap finally realizes the fire. It was a coincidence. Fire is the beginning of human civilization. It drives away wild animals. It makes life safer and more comfortable. Even the future development of culture cannot be separated from fire. They are much more primitive than I thought. Their understanding of fire is limited to cooking, eating raw for better taste. It seems that if I want to develop this primitive tribe, I must first teach them how to make fire. Tran Lap thinks about it and stands up. "Follow me. We have a proper solution." Earlier, a spear broke. It can be used. Tran Lap approaches a piece of wood. He starts rubbing it to make fire. "Today, I will teach you another skill. Everyone gather around and watch. Bring a few things, like sawdust into the gaps of the tree trunk. Then rotate it. You must be patient." After a while of patiently rotating, Tran Lap has also created a fire. The tribal people are excited to see Tran Lap create fire. Our king is a god. The god of fire has descended. Tran Lap hears this and coughs lightly. "Be a little modest. From now on, we should not eat raw meat anymore." Thatch Kot excitedly shouts, "I want to let the whole world know that our king has created fire." Tran Lap grabs his head and says, "You don't need to be modest. Keep your mouth shut." Tran Lap is pleased to see the tribal people happy by the fire. At this moment, the system appears. It presents the skill of making fire. Science and technology increase by 10 points. Current attributes: strength 2, agility 2. Fame in science and technology, 11. Territory has no rewards, 10 points in one go. It seems that accumulating points in science and technology is easier. I guess it's just that. I don't know what the use of these science and technology points is. At this moment, Tran Lap clicks on the panel. The system displays science and technology. A series of system screens appear. Science and technology points can be used to verify inherited templates. Each verification consumes 10 science and technology points. Tran Lap also remembers now that the inherited templates are rewards. After completing settlement tasks, this inherited template looks strange. Very strange indeed. And it also needs scientific and technological methods for evaluation. Just as he was thinking, the hunter approached and said, "King, just now, when will you butcher it? I noticed traces of suckling on this wild boar." Upon hearing this, Tran Lap immediately thought of something. So he asked, "What do you mean?" The hunter nodded. "I suspect there is a herd of piglets nearby. So I spent some time searching for their den, and I actually found it." At this moment, the system immediately appeared. Activating the mission of taming wild beasts. Mission details: raise wild boars, mutate them into domesticated animals. The experimental part of the mission is a small storage room for supplies. A basic cooking book. Can you accept the mission? Upon hearing this, Tran Lap immediately accepted the mission. He immediately ordered Da Dai and the hunter to bring those wild boars back. He also carefully reminded everyone to be careful. And he wanted to bring all those wild boars back here, and especially not to harm them. Da Dai quickly followed along, while the hunter quickly returned to their den, containing the wild boars, following their instructions. "King, please rest assured. Stay here, we'll be back soon." Watching the two run off, Tran Lap sighed. "Looks like we have to build pigsties before these two come back." Tran Lap walked towards the rest and said, "Everyone come see me after eating. I want to teach you something new." Upon hearing this, everyone was excited. The sky was also getting late. Tran Lap ordered everyone in the tribe to go outside and find branches. While they were walking, some of them said, "Why do we have to find so many branches?" Another person spoke up, "Stop talking nonsense. How would I know? Just bring the branches closer to the living area, and they'll be very surprised when they see others gathering here." She greeted them as they returned. Thatch Cot was surprised and asked what everyone was doing. She replied, "The king called this straw rope. It's much stronger than the previous climbing rope. We only need these small strands. We just need to weave these small strands. In this way, it is complete. Then we will weave them together again to become a rope." Thatch Cot felt confused and said not to explain anymore. "I don't understand at all." At this time, Tran Lap spoke up. "Thatch Cot, don't just stand there. Bring those things here." At this time, Tran Lap was digging a hole in the ground to make a circle. "Our king is coming here. What do we do next?" At this time, Tran Lap started to play. "Everyone do as I do. Choose a branch and straw like me. Everyone make at least 5 frames like this. Then put all the wood bars into the holes in the ground. Then tie them all together to form a cage. After everything is prepared, just cover it with a layer of straw in order. From the bottom to the top, we have a pigsty. Simple." The clan members ran to the pigsty and shouted, "Amazing! The king is amazing!" Others saw this, also quickly ran to hide in the house, so fast that even Tran Lap couldn't see clearly. In front of Tran Lap, there was a scene of chaotic competition. "We come first, Chen. The king is doing this to let me stay. I want to have a child with the king. You're a man, you fool. Don't mess with me anymore. I'm about to die." Tran Lap sighed. This is a pigsty, not a house to live in. At this time, the hunters and the big people also brought back the roasted pig. The hunters were excited and said, "Our king brought everything here. There are a total of 8 pigs." Tran Lap praised. Then he turned towards the pigsty and said, "Put these cute little ones inside that pigsty over there." At this point, Thatch Cot Lao approached Tran Lap. "No, your highness, how can we give such a nice place to those wild pigs over there?" Another person hugged Tran Lap and said, "Blah blah blah, in the end, we have built a home that can provide shelter from the rain and wind. We all want to live there. Everyone wants to have a home, to live together, and be close to the king." Tran Lap angrily waved his hand and left. "You are disgusting." At this point, he slowly explained, "If you insist on living with the pigs, it's not a problem for me. But after a comfortable wooden home is built, you won't get a share." "Listen here, both of you," they hurriedly said. "Is there really a better place than this one? I don't want to live here anymore. Let the skeletons live here." While saying this, Thatch Cot pushed the skeletons forward. At this point, the skeleton spoke. "No, I won't be here anymore. Let those wild pigs live here. Tran Lap said contentedly. So that's what you two meant. Hunters, put the pigs inside, and then let them eat and drink. The hunters quickly obeyed. At this point, a Khan raised a question. Aren't these wild pigs our food? Why do we have to feed them? Tran Lap asked. Are you happy when we can have more food, without having to hunt? A Khan happily replied, of course, I'm very happy. At this point, Tran Lap slowly explained. Raise them and let them have more piglets. Then we can live a good life, without having to hunt and have enough food. You don't understand, but it's alright. Just follow me and learn from my experience. At this point, the system displayed a notification. Congratulations on completing the mission of taming the wild animals. The small reward for the mission is a treasure box. Tran Li immediately opens the system reward box. Materials are released and the system chimes. Congratulations on receiving a bag of salt from Yang, supplying small materials. Congratulations on receiving a basic cooking book. Roasted eggplant and stir-fried peanuts. Fried lamb feet with roasted clams. Tran Li exclaims that he needs salt and cooking recipes. It seems like I have to become a chef before science and technology develop. At this time, another system message appears. Cook according to different recipes. Unlock special rewards. It seems that later, I have to pay attention to collecting 10 ingredients and other cooking spices in the future. Night falls and almost everyone is asleep. Only Tran Li and the hunter are sitting by the fire. He looks at the hunter and says, yesterday, you were the one who injured me. Today, you have to stay up all night to guard everyone. Thank you too, for working so hard today. The hunter hurriedly says, yesterday, I injured you, and almost killed you, so I'm glad to help. Tran Li happily embraces the hunter and says, are you thinking that I'm seeking revenge on you? Rest assured, I'm not that petty. By the way, I have something to tell you. Is there any tribe similar to ours around here? The hunter quickly responds, I have encountered another tribe before, but they are not friendly, and they are different from us. To complete the mission, the number of tribespeople needs to increase to 50. Tran Li asks who they are. How many people do they have and where do they live? I know of 3 tribes living nearby. The Coconut Drop Tribe, the Bay Tribe, and the Giant Rock Tribe. Although I say they live nearby, in reality, they live quite far away. It takes at least a day to reach one of those tribes. Can you tell me specifically about the situation of each tribe? Or whether the nimble hunter says yes, sire. The Coconut Cross Tribe is the closest to us. They live in the east, just a 10-minute walk south from the Black Cattle. There are about 30 or 40 people. They don't like to fight, and are very good at long-distance travel. The leader of their tribe is a difficult woman. The Seaside Tribe also has about 34-10 people. They live in the south near the sea. Each person looks very terrifying and likes to kill each other. The Giant Stone Tribe is the strongest heroes, and has the largest number. They usually live in the mountains to the southwest, but sometimes, they all come down from the mountain together. They say, the leader of their tribe has supernatural power, and can kill a tiger with their bare hands, so it's best not to provoke them. Tran Lap silently pondered. If this intelligence is accurate, then I think the Coconut Rock Tribe is the most suitable target for our first conquest. To survive amidst the strange things around here, those people must also be very powerful. I have to find a way to conquer them peacefully. At this moment, Tran Lap discovered behind him an eerie aura creeping in. At this point, Dai Dai rushed over and hugged Tran Lap, asking the king, "You're still not asleep, huh? Do you want to do something interesting with me?" These words made Tran Lap stiffen. At this moment, Dai Dai put on a cute look and said to the king, "Do I look like a meowing cat?" Tran Lap's face wrinkled, forced laughter. "Ha ha. You really resemble a saber-toothed tiger. I give you a like." At this moment, the hunter pretended not to see anything. Tran Lap grabbed him and shouted, "Hunter, do you need to go to the bathroom? I will go with you," leaving Dai Dai disappointed. A few hours later, dawn broke. Tran Lap sat on a tree branch with the hunter, looking down at the coast. Down below, two people from the Seaside Tribe were following. Some birds were continuously chirping. Tran Lap also uses the system to observe. This creature is a bird belonging to the pigeon family. The meat quality is poor, but the egg production is very high. While Tran Lap reads the system information, the other two have caught the bird. Tran Lap looks at the hunters and says, "Wait here, it was not in vain to wait all night." They belong to the Celestial Ocean Tribe. The hunter does not reply. But below, an argument erupts. One person points his weapon at the other and says, "Give it to me, or I will kill you." The other person also yells aggressively. It seems that a battle is about to break out. Up above, Tran Lap confirms the intelligence. These people are foolish and reckless. If what you said earlier is true, there are about 30 of them. If we can subdue them, then no, we can increase our tribe's numbers. We can also obtain resources like this bird. The hunter is worried. Our numbers are not even half of theirs. We cannot defeat them. This is truly a problem. However, if we have advanced weapons, we can do it. In Tran Lap's mind, a plan is forming. First, we need to eliminate the black buffalo herd. Then, use the new resources to create stronger weapons and equipment. Tran Lap looks at the hunter and says, "We should go back now. We still have a lot to do." A few hours later, Tran Lap returns to the campsite. The fire has gone out, and everyone seems downcast. But when they see Tran Lap's return, the eye becomes incredibly excited. "The king has returned, our king." Thatchcott cries out, "We have searched for you for so long. We thought you had abandoned us." Seeing this affection, Tran Lap smiles and says, "I apologize for making you worry. Everyone, disperse and resume your work." Thatchcott and the others in the hunting team continue their spear-throwing training. Tran Lap looks at the hunter and says, "We should return as well. We still have many tasks to accomplish." And so, they continue their journey. You are responsible for teaching them to become proficient in the skill of throwing wooden spears. And you have one day to do it. Help them improve as much as possible. You are also very confident in performing the greeting gesture effortlessly. Watch everyone leave. Tran Lap is filled with worries, knowing that there are only 18 days left. Suddenly, Tran Lap is cared for by the big boss. She brought a big leaf for Tran Lap. "This leaf is very convenient for you to go for a walk in a deserted place. Do you know the function of this leaf?" Tran Lap is a bit surprised but then happily says, "Thank you for your kindness. Now I need your help a little bit. Gather the others for me to help me create wooden spears. First, you girls find sharp stones. We will teach you to make stone axes. Do you understand?" The big boss quickly says, "I understand, Your Majesty. I will go gather others and find stones for you." A while later, Tran Lap is sitting creating the spears, and the girls bring the stones. "Your Majesty, please see if these stones are suitable." Tran Lap happily nods. "Very good, these stones are suitable." Then, Tran Lap starts shaping the stones into axes. Finally, using a wooden stick and some fibers from the chest, and then a stone axe has been successfully created. The girls happily applaud. "You're amazing, Your Majesty, you are my god." And now the system appears again. Congratulations Tran Lap for successfully creating the stone axe. Technology points increased by 1. Tran Lap was a bit annoyed and disappointed. Crafting fire increased by 10 points, while creating a spear only earned 1 point. Tran Lap became frustrated and set aside the score. He ordered, "Everyone, follow the way I just did to create a stone axe." Just as he finished speaking, the big boss spoke up. "My king, I have already completed it. Please have a look." Tran Lap was surprised when he saw that in Tai Dai's hand was a 2-blade axe. He complimented her for being very talented. Tai Dai happily said, "I remember the king's axe had a similar shape. I'm just imitating it." At this time, the system interface appears again. You have met the conditions for Condition 1. From the Old Stone Age to the New Stone Age. Condition 2. Determine new talents among the subordinates. An activated function to explore skills. Tran Lap looks at the aesthetic system. It seems the system can also detect everyone's skills and let me know what they are capable of. The skill of making this tool is an incredibly great skill. Seeing Tran Lap looking at himself like that, Tai Dai was extremely embarrassed. "Why didn't I do well, my king?" Tran Lap happily said, "Of course not. Everyone made stone axes according to this standard. Today we will make as many wooden spears as possible. It is getting close to sunset." Under the effort of the girls, 30 spears have been completed. More than half of them were made by Tai Dai. Is this king better than the previous one? Tran Lap saw it and praised it very well. You are truly talented in this field. At this moment, Tran Lap noticed that Tai Dai's 2 hands had turned red, with many blisters. He exclaimed, "You worked very hard today. Thank you very much. Looking at these wounds really breaks my heart." Tai Dai's face turned red. "As long as I can help the king, no matter how difficult it is, I will do it." At this time, the girls also approached, bringing their red hands towards Tran Lap. "Our hands are also injured. Don't you feel sorry for us?" Tran Lap looked away in embarrassment and said shyly, all right, everyone is talented and works hard." Another girl spoke up, "My king, take a look at our hands too." In the face of this attack, Tran quickly runs away. These more than 30 spears are definitely enough. "Everyone, take a break. I will go see the training results of the hunters." Tran quickly runs towards the training area. He feels it's too dangerous to be near these women. Suddenly, Tran freezes. He sees a large piece of wood coming towards him. Tran quickly dodges in fear, then silently curses in his heart. Tran is stunned when he realizes it's a moving target. used for training. Tran stands in front of the target. He examines the stone framework and bone mace triumphantly. Everyone, gather and prepare for the next round. At this point, Tran notices Khan approaching. Khan speaks up. I didn't expect you to be here, Your Majesty. At this point, Tran steps forward, looking composed. Let's talk about today's results, Khan happily says. Dear King, today, everyone has made remarkable progress. They can easily hit moving targets with accuracy. Although the black boar's horns are powerful, their timing is poor. They can only fully utilize their abilities when combined with the stone framework. The sixth Fang may not like to talk, but they're the most diligent in training. They were the first to master the skills. What surprised me the most is the stone framework and the bone mace. They're not special on their own, but when combined, they can continuously throw 4 spears accurately. They always achieve the highest scores. Hearing Tran's report, the king exclaims how amazing it is. It seems like tomorrow, we can deal with those black cows. Khan expresses his worry. Oh my, are you sure, Your Majesty? Tran confidently confirms, but to ensure success, we should still bring along secret weapons. Upon hearing about the secret weapons, Khan becomes extremely excited.